I'm Zach with Box Alarm Trading, and this is the ultimate guide to starting your UFC card collection. Episode 1, buying singles and how to find comp. Hey you, you out there watching this video. Please comment below what cards you're trying to collect at the moment. And if you enjoy these videos, please give us a like and subscribe for future content just like this. By doing those things for us, you're helping out our tiny channel and helping our videos get to more collectors, so hopefully they can find some awesome deals out there on eBay. So the reason I would recommend buying singles when you're first starting out is that you're not gonna strike out like you can when you buy retail and hobby boxes. If y'all have been watching some of our videos, y'all will have seen that not always does the box return the value that you paid for it. You know, it's kind of a crapshoot. Some are going to return more value than you paid for it. Some are going to, you know, obviously be less. But when you buy singles, if you find comps, you will pay a fair market price for the card and you'll get exactly what card you want. So you'll be able to target specific fighters that you want, specific athletes. You know, you can get specific parallels or inserts that you're into and complete sets that way by just buying singles instead of rolling the dice on retail and hobby boxes and, you know, getting various people that you may not like and that you're gonna have to resell, or just hitting boxes that are duds. But before you start amassing your collection and buying singles on eBay, I want to show y'all how to find comps for cards so that you're not overpaying like I did when I first started collecting. If you've been on Instagram, if you've been on Twitter, if you've been on Reddit and you've kind of been in some of the sales threads, you might hear and see people throwing around the word comp, and you might be like, what is a comp? And a comp is just a comparison price of the card you want in a recent sale and what it's sold for. So by finding this price point, not only are we figuring out what we should pay whenever we want that card, but we're also finding out, if we're trying to sell that specific card, what we should be able to get for it on the open market. And so now that we know what this is, how do we find that number? Well, there's a couple different ways that you can do it. The first way I'm gonna show you is just through eBay. To me, that's the easiest one, and that's usually what I use. All right, so to the phone we go. All right, so we're in eBay. You're gonna go ahead and, you know, whatever card you want, you're gonna type that in. I'm gonna be using Shavkat Rachmanov tie-dye because that's a really sweet card and something that I'd want. And firstly, you're gonna come over to filter. You see at the top right, it's filter, click that. Then you're gonna come down to sold items and completed items. So we wanna see the most recent sales for these cards. Okay, so you see we got the 437 at the top, that was most recent. We've got a couple of best offer accepted, which I'll go over after this portion of the explanation. We got 305 and 393. Okay, so technically what you can do is take the three sales that we saw, 437, add 305, and add that to 393, and take the average of those three sales, and boom, as easy as that, you have kind of an average comparison price for three sales of that specific card. So whenever you're targeting to buy that card, you should, you know, have that price in mind. And whenever you're in auctions, you can try and bid up to that price. You know, maybe you want to overbid a little bit because you're really into that card. You think the card's going to increase in value, or that fighter is going to increase in value, which is fine. But I always like to have kind of a number in my head by using these comps. That's kind of what I'm shooting for whenever I bid. So we saw a couple of listings there that the seller took the best offer accepted. So what those mean is that someone posted a card for sale and they wanted, just for example, $299, right? Another buyer went along and said, I'll give you maybe $250, and the buyer or the seller accepts and says, yeah, I'll accept your best offer at $250. eBay is going to have the initial listing, which was $299, and they're just going to put that green line through it. And so eBay won't tell us what the seller took. So we can check 130 point and we'll get the exact number that the seller accepted to add to our group of numbers and group of sales to determine our comparison price. All right, so head over to 130point.com. You're gonna type in your card, which in this case we're doing Shavkat Rachmanov tie-dye, and search it. And let's see. Okay, so you see right here we've got the sale price with the $399 with the line through it, and the best offer accepted was $300, and the best offer accepted was $250, and then $250 again. So you can use 130 point whenever you see a best offer accepted, and you'll be able to have a little bit more pricing and a little bit more data points to put into your average and get a better idea of what exactly the card is worth on the market. You could just use 130 point and it'll tell you, you know, kind of all the sales. I like the app on eBay just because it's really quick for me to use, and as I'm browsing I can just, you know, input that in there super quick and I don't have to go to another app specifically. But I definitely use both of them concurrently to kind of find the exact price for the comps. So there's a bunch of other apps out there that you can use for comps, but personally these are really the only two that I like and feel like I need. So I hope y'all got something out of this video. If you're just starting out, I think buying singles is definitely the way to go. Make sure that you're finding comps on the cards that you're trying to bid on eBay. Don't get ripped off like I did at the beginning. A lot of people are going to have their buy it now price super high, so definitely find comps. Be patient, try and get stuff in auctions. That's almost always the lowest price it's going to sell for. And if you have any ideas or topics that you'd like us to cover, go ahead and drop those in the comments as well. So next week, Eric will be back. We got some Chronicles retail that we're going to rip. I'm excited to look at those. The bronze parallels of that look awesome. So hopefully we can hit some of those. And we'll be opening some Mace Collectibles repack boxes. He always is really fair with his deals, so I'm excited to see what he's got in those for us. And we have our first ever SGC review coming up. So we sent off a bunch of cards and SGC got them back to us super quick. Shout out to them for that. So we're gonna check our grades live and hopefully we can get some diamonds out of those. We'll kind of go over the process of sending them off as well as the reveal. So thanks for tuning in and I'll see y'all next week.